Alright.
I'm really close to paying for ad-free YouTube.
Why?
I want to experience it, at least for a little bit, to see, because I'm just so
Out
tired.
of fucking principles, don't you dare.
But how much is it?
That doesn't matter. It's not free, and that's too much.
But it might not be, though.
It is. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys, and welcome back to Collar Entertainment. This is Matt.
There he is.
This is Juice. And welcome
to the wheel.
Welcome to the first episode of The Wheel on Side Chick Wednesday, even though it is Thursday.
Yes, there's a reason that we are doing Side Chick Wednesday on Thursday.
First off, we haven't been on in almost 3 weeks anyway.
Oh yeah,
so
we need explanations. We need all kinds of shit. Okay, so couple things have happened over the past few weeks.
Basically, really haven't even on since we got the dogs.
We've been the first reason for the hiatus was we were going to take a week off because we got 2 new puppies.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone welcome the future destroyers of the stream, Spike, who is in the room with us.
But he is such a good boy.
He is such a good boy.
He is the goodest boy.
He is the goodest
He's not
boy.
the best
yes,
boy.
because Drogo was the best.
Drogo was the best boy. He is the goodest
He
boy.
is the goodest boy.
Yes.
And then we have our resident crackhead in Ducky, who is basically Tully all over again.
Not all
You may
over
hear her
again.
whining in the background. Right now she is 6 months?
At least. We don't know how she is, but just
Between
up
6
there.
months and a year, probably. So she's super young.
Yeah.
And then we have Grandma Crackhead,
Yeah.
who is just kind of laying around right
and
now.
Grandma and Junior Crackhead do not get along very well. So we
Surprisingly
have
enough, they have
to,
something in common.
Separate them. That's why you may hear her whining in the other room, because she has to be crated while we hang out here. But she will be released once we get off here.
And eventually get
We
to
let
a
her
train
run. We
together.
let her roam. It's just in these social situations, she is not ready for all that yet. So we have 2 new dogs, Spike and Ducky.
Yay.
Because we always have to have a pop culture name.
Yes.
Also, pets shouldn't necessarily have human names.
Exactly.
No, I had Lisa. And I don't even call Jon Snow a human name, but I'm going to call it a human name.
Well, it's
So,
yeah.
So that was the first week. And then the second week, we were getting ready to stream and trying to figure all that out. And we learned that a friend of ours passed at 29 years old.
Very tragic.
For those who were listening when I was plugging Tales of Adventure, the D&D podcast I was part of, it was our Dungeon Master, Dapper Wombat. Our thoughts and prayers are with his family. And Strange Enigma, who is part of our stream quite a bit, that was his best friend. So we did suffer that loss, and I just didn't feel like streaming. I didn't want to deal with it. I've been going through it. So then Monday came around, and I still wasn't really in the mood. But then Wednesday, Side Chick Wednesday, came along, and we were having a bonfire last week.
And also, I started a new job.
Oh,
yeah.
And also, Ari started a new job, which just added more and more stress.
Whoop
into
whoop.
life.
Whoop whoop on the new job.
Whoop whoop.
But not whoop whoop on the stress. So congratulations on
So
that.
it's a lot right now, but so we were having a bonfire the other day. Me, Ari, and Juice, and we were having a drink
There are
and
2 new jobs,
relaxing.
actually.
And Juice had brought up that we had used to have film discussions. We had streamed a couple of them for Star Wars and some other movies.
Yeah, this was a few years back when they were out in Indianapolis, and I would make the 2.5-hour drive out from here, and we, for his birthday at the time, for those few years, we caught Force Awakens, and
Last Jedi.
Well, Force Awakens was up here because I went with my dad.
okay, well, so
Yeah.
we
So
then
it
we
was
caught
Last Jedi.
It was Last Jedi and Rogue One for sure.
Yes.
And
Maybe
you know,
Han? Maybe Solo?
No.
No.
Han was in the
Solo,
screen. I think we were up there by
Solo
that
was
point.
up here. But anyway, during the time that they were out there, and a couple times I would go visit, you know, we were so ecstatic. Star Wars was back in full effect, and we decided to have a discussion about it with our other friends I believe Chris and Jessica were with us at the time, so and we just wanted to have a discussion.
I think
and
Atlas was there.
Yeah, I believe Atlas was there for one of them.
Was it Atlas or was it Andre?
I'm pretty sure it was Atlas.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay.
But either way, we had a discussion about it, and I brought it up to them, and I thought, you know what, we haven't done anything like that in a while, and honestly, there are times when we don't really feel like gaming.
Yeah.
Because sometimes things just happen to go awry, or we don't have the energy for it. I'll be honest, like it gets to be kind of late sometimes for me to catch a stream because of how late it is.
It's late for us,
and
too.
it's late for them too. And like sometimes we just don't have the energy to game.
Yeah.
So I decided, hey, why don't we just watch movies? Why don't we watch movies that I haven't seen, and then we talk about them kind of and do kind of a film study. And Matt came up with the idea that we each come up with a list of movies that we've either seen, haven't seen, what have you, and we each take a turn, come up with a list. We'll spin the wheel so that it's fair, and then we'll watch the movie, and we'll talk about it. You know. In a critical way, in a critiquing way. Now, none of us are critics by any means whatsoever. However, we are of various degrees of fan enthusiasts.
That's not fully true, because I do consider myself a little bit of a critic.
Okay, well, Matt considers himself a critic. I'm more of a casual moviegoer. Like, I know... Hey, Strange!
Hey, Strange!
Hi, Strange!
I know what I like, and I have a difficult time sometimes breaking a movie down into its elements and understanding like the screenwriting and the directorial decisions. When I'm watching a movie, I try to just focus on the movie and not think about the what, the where, the why, unless the movie isn't distracting enough. They, on the other hand, have way more experience at being able to understand storytelling than I do, which is why they've been able to introduce me to certain movies that I've never seen throughout my young adult life, or adult life for that matter. And I figured this would be a good way for me to kind of get more invested into that world and learn a little bit more about it.
So with that being said, we welcome you to the new series called The Wheel. Shout out to the App Store and the app Spin the Wheel. They're not sponsoring us, but this is what I'm using. Are you using?
I'm using it as well.
Is that the app you're using?
I think so.
So we're all using the Spin the Wheel app for our movie list, and that is how we are getting past the dilemma of what do I want to watch, or what am I in the mood for, or anyone vetoing any movies.
Let fate decide.
It is spin the wheel, whatever lands on, we're fucking watching, whether you like it or not.
Regardless of whether you like it or not. And personally, what I like about it in this aspect is because if we're going to do this, I take away any distractions, and if I haven't seen it for the first time, cool, I can invest myself and watch it. And if I have seen it before, now I can actually watch it from a critical. I can actually watch it from a different perspective, not as a viewer.
That's very strange.
Yeah. And Strange says that Matt and Ari are as critical with movies as I am with rap albums.
Oh, of course.
For those who don't know, Strange is a rap connoisseur. That's actually how I describe him to people. No one knows the rap game like Strange does. I've never met a soul who knows the rap game like Strange does.
We have 5 watching. This is pretty awesome.
And we are very much movie fanatics.
I think I might be on there.
There are some that have slipped through the
That's
cracks
more
that
than
people say that if you consider yourself a film buff, you have to watch this movie, and we haven't caught those. But that's another thing that this is part for. If something comes across our desk, we can add it to the list and throw it on there. So this is the wheel. Juicy had the first spin.
Yep.
Just hand me my phone, please.
And would you like to introduce the movie we will be speaking of?
Well,
today?
if you guys haven't seen it by the title,
yeah.
The first movie that the wheel had chosen to us by fate is a movie that I was actually very excited to watch when I saw the trailer in theaters. Didn't catch it in theaters. I did catch it on streaming, and I have to say I was genuinely surprised how much I enjoyed this film. The movie is Bullet Train, starring Brad Pitt, Joey King, Aaron Taylor Johnson. Hold on, I have the cast on a
Brian Tyree Henry.
Brian Tyree Henry. Nope. I have him here. Never mind. Here, the legend Hiroyuki Sanada.
Oh my God, him being in this movie added like 2 movies.
Also, Bad Bunny. A surprise cameo by Sandra Bullock. Surprise cameo by Ryan Reynolds and the great Michael Shannon.
Hi, Supa.
Hi, Supa.
Okay, written by.
Yeah. I should have been better prepared.
First time.
Yeah, first time.
Let's go.
I thought I had it already a little bit better. And I did not know. I have the IMDb open, but then I also had the cast. Okay, so this movie, the screenplay was by Zach Okowitz, if I'm pronouncing that right. And it was directed by David Leitch, and it is based off the book Maria Beetle, parentheses Bullet Train, by Kotaro Isaka.
Okay.
And the movie was released in 2022 in films, and it is currently streaming on Netflix until the end of the month.
Yes.
So
now that we've gotten that out, did we do directed by?
Yes. David Leitch.
Okay. So now that we have that out,
Is there Lynch?
David Leitch.
Okay.
Let's go into initial reactions, knee-jerk reactions.
Hold on, before we do that, let me give for anybody who...
Oh yeah, the synopsis.
Yes, for anybody who may not have seen the movie...
By the way, before you get into the synopsis,
yes.
I apologize. This is a spoiler discussion.
Yes, this is a spoiler discussion.
We have seen this movie. We are talking about this movie in depth, which means spoilers will come up, as well as we will be, at the end of the stream, spinning the wheel to decide the movie for next week. That way, anyone watching can feel free to watch it before next Wednesday.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Alright, so the quick plot summary. 5 assassins aboard a swiftly moving bullet train find out that their missions have something in common.
Wow. Very, very succinct.
Yeah, very, very succinct.
So, initial knee-jerk reactions before we go in depth. Just knee-jerk reactions.
I loved it.
I loved it.
Okay, so 2 loved it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know if I would say love.
Okay.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
I have not changed my to enjoyed also, because I feel like it's a movie that I may not necessarily always choose to watch, but I'm happy when I do.
I feel the same way.
I feel like this is one of those movies that over the course of time, if I'm channel surfing and it's on, I come across it,
you'll stop and watch it.
I'll stop and watch the rest of it.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Wherever
I agree.
it's at.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I don't know if it's ever a movie that I'll pick to watch from the beginning just cause.
That's fair.
But I don't know. Because, God, is it well put together.
It really is. It really is, yeah. It gives me, to me, it gives me Quentin Tarantino vibes.
I can see that. I can see some inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Even the dialogue, yeah. Because, like, that Thomas the Thomas the Tank Engine discussion.
Yeah, that,
right at
wow.
the beginning. That feels like something that Tarantino would come up with.
I don't think so.
Maybe
I think that while I'll disagree with you guys on that. I think that with Quentin Tarantino seems to be a bit, and I'm trying to think of the word.
They can't hear you when you're handling it.
I'm trying to think of the word, not effervescent, that's not the word I'm looking for. Cerebral. To be very cerebral in a lot of things he discusses. And so likening somebody to a Thomas the Engine train commercial or train show, while not necessarily is reductionist in any way, I think that that's still not necessarily the type or style that he's going to use, that he's applied in other movies.
I think where I get the Tarantino similarities is more so in the action and some of the cinematography.
I can see that.
I can see that as well, but I want to go back to this dialogue thing. And specifically, I'm going to go ahead and stick with the Thomas the Tank Engine shit. Is because, you know, a guy sitting there and talking about how he reads people and likening it to the way he reads people is everyone is a character on Thomas the Tank Engine. Because each tank engine has its own personality and it's its own person, but they fit into these very stereotypical roles that pretty much everyone comes into with their personalities. Type A, Type B, blah, blah, blah. That just reminds me of Tim Roth sitting there explaining to Honey Bunny why you should stick up a restaurant and not a bank.
This is Pulp Fiction, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. I think the level of vocabulary and degree of the things being explored are typically much more complex in Tarantino than that.
I don't know.
You have to watch it side by side, and I promise you, I would probably be right.
Well, the whole thing the whole thing reminded me of Tim Roth, because I could even go to the commode story in Reservoir Dogs, and the way Tim Roth is talking about that, and it reminds me of this conversation that they have with Thomas the Train, and this whole conversation they have with the son of the White Death. Just very much feels Tarantino.
It did not, to me. I'm not getting that at all. I will say that what I appreciated is, I'm trying to remember because I watched it, but I was also starting to fall asleep towards the end. I wasn't paying attention to those themes. I'm trying to remember some of the things that are hallmarks of Quentin Tarantino movies are like the needle drop, where like specifically a scene where music is so integral that it's woven into the very fabric of the rest of the film, or something like that, or at least in that scene. And other movies don't utilize that, but he seems to be incredibly insightful in when he uses it. It also tends to come with a lot of like chopping and like not natural edits that happen, because like there's a scene, you're showing a movie, blah blah blah, and then it moves into something else almost immediately after that without any real like. There's no
connective tissue.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And that jarring jump is actually kind of designed to create some discomfort in the audience, so that they are kind of more leaned into what's happening to kind of find out, okay, what's coming next. That's an example of a couple of hallmarks with Tarantino films. Another one would be, of course, the dialogue that oftentimes drives the entire movie. I don't know enough about themes within character development, within movies, within settings, and things like that follow throughout an entire narrative. I don't think that they play on that very much in this film outside of the idea of luck and fate.
Well, with that being said,
I have one more thing to say before you say that. The last thing I was going to add was that the dialogue in scenes oftentimes tends to be longer. They tend to be and when I will mention cerebral again, because the idea is they tend to explore concepts from a different perspective than most people usually accept them. While I will grant you Thomas the Train is similar in that vein, I don't think the dialogue utilized the same kind of themes of like intimidation, vocabulary. This is knee-jerk reaction because I'm trying to think. I hadn't really explored it much, but that's not the first instinct that I get from that.
Well, and that's the thing. It wasn't the first instinct I had. But where I was going more was that you said that it was Tarantino-ish. And that's very much how I would actually describe this movie, is Tarantino-ish.
I'm not going to say he wasn't probably influenced by him.
No, and that's what I'm saying. I think there was some homages. So I wanted to talk real quick, and then we're going to let Juice go for a little bit, about you talking about the staggering edits, the no connective tissue, that kind of keeps you wondering what happened. And there's a very specific moment in this movie where they do just that. And it's when the wolf shows up.
Oh my gosh.
And the door opens, and the wolf sees him. He obviously recognizes him.
And then
you can see he's going for a punch.
Yep.
And then we have a good 15 to 20 minutes of the movie before we go back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the thing. I think that just because you use that, it's showing more of a Tarantino-esque attempt, but I don't think that would never make me think, oh, this is Tarantino. Like, it's seeming like you're trying to do something that Tarantino does without realizing why or how he does it properly.
And that's the point we're trying to make.
Yeah, that's the point we're trying to make.
Ish.
That's why like those cuts.
It's not Tarantino,
right? Is I got the vibes. So again, it's me. It's basically me saying I'm getting Tarantino vibes off of it, even though I know he had no involvement in the movie.
I guess what I'm looking at it is like I understand being influenced by him, but I don't know that necessarily I would really necessarily call it Tarantino-esque or ish, because it sounds more like. To me, when I say that, I think of this is something that could possibly be mistaken for it or
Fair
something
enough.
like that. I think it's influenced. It's obviously influenced, but there are degrees and levels of sophistication.
So I guess we're really just disagreeing on the wording. Like Tarantino light, I would even use. But I completely agree with you. I think there is some Tarantino aspects to this movie. But at the same time, and the reason I think we're on the same page, actually, there is not a single one of the 8 Tarantino films. 9?
9.
9 at this point.
9
yeah.
at this point, yeah.
Of the 9 Tarantino films, that I would not choose to start from the beginning to the end and just watch. Whereas I said, this movie is one I would probably channel surf and eventually stop on and then watch it.
Yeah.
And I would never choose it. There's not a single of the 9 Tarantino films that I would not choose to watch.
From the beginning.
Because Tarantino is a
I think
goddamn master.
Hateful Eight probably be the one for me, honestly, but that'd be like almost the only one.
I can understand that. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood's probably the one for me.
Oh, wow. See, I would
because there's like 2 or 3 scenes that I absolutely adore in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but the whole movie itself, not so much.
Yeah.
Or Kill Bill.
Oh no!
Blasphemy!
I know.
See, now that's
shut the non-believers.
That's
Yay! No, but see, that would probably be a discussion if we ever jump into Kill Bill.
Well, I'm sure it'll get added to the list.
It probably will. But
and there she goes.
But going back to this movie, going back to what you said, Matt, about the introduction of the wolf, like he shows up, he's getting ready for a punch, and then we just cut to, I think we cut to the twins.
The prince.
With the prince.
The prince.
We cut to
because the prince then explains how the son got there.
Okay, so we cut to the prince explaining how the
father.
So how the little boy landed in the hospital.
Yeah.
Strange says just recently saw Kill Bill 2, pretty good. Did you see the first one as well?
Dear Christ, tell me you did.
You kind of got to watch both.
But also, Strange is it's just trolly enough to watch the second one just to piss you off, but only if he knew it was going to piss you off.
Right.
So I'm so sure you watched it.
So,
but anyway, back to this.
Okay, so the prince goes into explaining how the little boy who is the son of the son.
Yeah, so I'm gonna call him. You have
his name is
let's call him the father because the grandfather's called the
Wataru was the boy. Yes, Yuichi. I think it was Yuichi. Yuichi is the son who we start the movie off.
Wataru.
No,
that's the name of the boy.
That's the son's name.
That's what we were talking about.
That's the boy's name.
That's the boy's name.
That's what I thought we were talking about.
No,
the boy.
Yes, but we're talking about his dad.
Yes.
So Yuichi is Yuichi is the character that we start the movie off with.
Yeah.
And there is a great foreshadowing at the beginning of the film with the snake.
Yes.
Which we will probably get into later, but point is
very brief.
Very but still enough to make you like, why is this here so early for them to then drop it full mast later on as soon as we get into like maybe 20 minutes of the movie? 30 maybe? Point is, so after the wolf shows up, the prince explains why she's on the train, or at least how her plan is on the train.
Yeah.
And that's a good maybe 5 minutes of discussion, and then I think maybe we cut to the twins again.
Then it's the twins.
Then we cut to the twins. They're doing.
I think that's when Lemon and
Tangerine,
Brad Pitt, are talking.
Okay. It takes a while before we actually like.
No, because they're not. Because he's fighting the wolf.
Yeah, because he fights the wolf, and then
so we cut to the twins, and they're probably messing around with the dead son. We're going to be doing a lot of jumping around. I'm not going to go over the details of the movie, but they're basically we do not catch back up with the wolf for a while, but when we do, we just cut into his backstory.
Oh yeah.
Like literally from him as a child, his I believe, was it his dad? Did his father get shot or his mother got shot?
His father shot? Or then his mother just died? You didn't really see much about his dad, I don't think.
Oh no, he just turned into an orphan.
Okay, so so his mother had
he was orphaned.
Yeah, so he was orphaned. He grew up on the streets, and he eventually made his way into one of the biggest Mexican crime bosses.
Cartels.
Yeah, one of the biggest cartels in Mexico. And it's a very quick, like maybe 5-minute exposition scene that eventually shows that leads into like why he's a player on the train, leading to the scene where him and Brad Pitt come face to face and he's throwing the punch, and then it just goes into them fighting.
Beautifully cut together. Too.
Yeah, I agree.
Each like section of his life is a good 15 to 30 seconds.
Something like that, if not maybe a little bit
Except
more.
maybe his wedding.
Well, the wedding, that's because the wedding is is a big factor.
I don't think it's that long. I think they all actually are probably pretty short. And while that one might be longer, I think that one is probably still less than like 30 seconds long. Just thinking about film runtime, it just probably wasn't that long.
I think it was a minute and a half.
It
for the wedding scene.
The wedding scene felt long because it's like, okay, we cut to him and his bride cutting the cake. Everybody's celebrating. You know, he got wine on himself, and then everybody just starts throwing up blood and is bleeding from the eyes. But I think what we're confusing too is because we do cut back to it when we find out that Brad Pitt's character Ladybug
was there
once. Sandra Bullock's character, who is his handler, tells him, "Oh yeah, you killed the wolf. You were at his wedding." And Brad Pitt's like, "Oh yeah, I spilled wine on him."
Yeah.
So we do end up going back to that. But that whole sequence is done very well, and it's not the first time they would do a sequence like that again, because they do it later on with the water bottle.
Yes.
Which I thought is very funny, very very well done from the perspective of looking at this water bottle of Fiji from the time a little girl tries to get it out of the vending machine to where it ends up towards the end of the film. And
one of the best uses of product placement I've seen.
Yeah, probably.
Not just the commercial they have smack dab in the middle of the wolf scene or whatever.
By the way, it got me again. Unplug, plug back in.
I got it.
Okay.
Can you hear yourself again?
Now I can.
Sorry about that.
Quick technical difficulty there, folks.
Tully's trying to destroy the stream.
Alrighty.
I want to also point out that I actually have an issue with this movie.
Okay.
Personal issue. I have cases of mistaken identity sometimes. Ari knows this when it comes to Leona Lewis and
Alicia Keys.
And it's not that I mixed the two up, it's that I thought a Leona Lewis song was an Alicia Keys song.
That's the same thing, baby.
But I don't think any Alicia Keys songs are Leona Lewis songs.
Mm-hmm.
Leona Lewis was a one-hit wonder who I mixed up with Alicia Keys. Anyway.
Right, okay.
What was it, Bleeding Love?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the only one.
Tully carries Drogo's legacy. Yes, she does. Oh, there it goes again. Like I said, unplug it, plug it back in.
You gotta go outside?
Okay, we're good.
Alright, so, both times I've watched this movie, have confused Sandra Bullock's character with Scarlett Johansson.
Good God, how?
Both times I've watched this movie, when she's initially briefing Ladybug.
Okay, are you confusing
the voice?
This same.
Yeah.
However,
not looking at her.
But I don't think it's Scarlett Johansson. I just can't get the voice. early on in the movie, I can't tell that's Sandra Bullock.
No, I can't either. But it sounds to me very Scarlett Johansson.
Okay, I can see that.
Because I have a thing for voices. I'm very good usually at picking out a voice and being like, oh, I know who that is. The Fiji water?
Yes. Only if I don't like going into the bathroom and making the water.
We are not sponsored by Fiji
I've
water.
done that with both times now.
Okay.
Watching the movie, thinking that it was Scarlett Johansson at first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the issue where in the beginning I couldn't, like, just listening, I couldn't tell that that's Sandra Bullock as in this rewatch.
Nope.
The first time I saw the movie, I'm just like, who is this? And then as the movie went, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to hear who this is. And then when you finally find out it's Sandra Bullock, I'm like, oh shit! I didn't realize she was in this. Like, wow. It's surprising how well she is as a voice, or possibly that maybe it's not her in the beginning.
No, I'm sure it's still her. It's just that you're not necessarily used to only hearing her voice. You usually think, when you see, I'm trying to think of any movie or whatever, like, some people have very distinct voices, and you'll never be able to miss them whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But then other people, like, you just would never be able to pick them out because you're so used to their voice associated with their face.
Yeah.
And so when you are missing one of those, then it'd be really hard to be able to try and pick that out for her.
I can see that with Sandra, because Sandra is a chameleon with her voice. Because if you take her Miss Congeniality, super rich Brooklyn accent,
Jersey
accent, and put it next to A Time to Kill Sandra Bullock, it's two completely different people.
Absolutely.
Even though they're very similar. She's very good at the nuance of accents.
Maybe. I don't know if I call her a chameleon, but I would say she does do very well with utilizing her voice as an actress.
Yes. By the way, we love Sandra Bullock in this house. Like,
yes,
we were not crapping on her at all. Sandra Bullock is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Let's since we're on that, let's talk about the cameos in this movie.
So
you have
Sandra Bullock,
who's probably the most prominent.
Yep.
But then all of a sudden, right in the middle of the fucking movie, Channing Tatum shows up.
Oh my god, the Channing just shows up out of nowhere. Yes, I have. Yeah, it's a weird thing. I have referred to him as the Channing. Channing Tatum.
As a closet homosexual. Is he closet though?
I don't think so.
That may have been the wrong term, but
is he a homosexual?
A guy who is intrigued by doing sex stuff for money.
I mean, with Brad Pitt. Though,
with Brad Pitt.
To be fair.
I mean,
and it's funny because this to me, where I get this from comes after his cameo in This Is the End. If you have seen that movie,
easily the moment I became a Channing Tatum fan. That was the moment.
Wow.
Lack of any sort of semblance regarding what's the word? Not masculinity, but someone who is obviously very secure in it.
Yeah.
And
it's refreshing.
My intro to Channing Tatum was this heartthrob, can he really act? Devon Sawa-esque.
I don't want to call him Devon Sawa.
Sawa was
pretty boy.
I disagree with that.
I know you do. We'll put on Casper and we'll talk about it. Or Final Destination, or whatever the hell you want.
Never again.
Idle Hands, whatever. Pick something Devon Sawa,
that wasn't his fault.
Then let me know how good of an actor he is. Anyway, so Channing Tatum was very much that Zac Efron.
Yeah.
That's better.
Okay?
Yeah.
That kind of actor.
Who's also acquitted himself very well in the last couple of years.
He has. I'm not saying he hasn't.
One of the biggest successes to come out of Disney Channel.
But so I remember when X-Men Origins came out, and Channing Tatum was starting to be rumored to be Gambit.
Yeah.
And I was really upset. For those who don't know, Gambit is my favorite superhero.
Favorite X-Man.
Sorry. Favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I was super upset because I was like, I don't want some teen heartthrob that can't act playing Gambit. Yes, Gambit is a sex symbol in the X-Men, but that's not all he is.
No, he's very deep, and if you haven't seen it yet, go watch X-Men '97.
Oh my God, yes,
it
please.
is so good. But going back to it.
So that moment in This Is the End, with the self-deprecating, comfortable in my own skin humor that he did, I immediately was like, oh, this kid's got some more range.
For anybody who hasn't seen This Is the End, real quick. So the world has gone to hell.
Literally.
Literally. The world has gone to hell, and the main cast, or what's left of the main cast, are trying to run away, and they encounter a group of cannibals led by Danny McBride. Thank you.
Oh God, it was Danny McBride.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Led by Danny McBride, who has a man in a gimp mask, kind of just on all fours, basically acting like a dog, humping his leg. He calls him his bitch. And then when you take the mask off, you find out it's Channing Tatum, and he's just like, oh, hey, what's up, guys?
And I remember dying in the theater.
He's just really cool about it, like, oh, hey, what's up, guys?
And that's... God, what is going on with that? Sorry for the technical difficulties.
I moved. I moved once, and that was it.
So, where's the cord at?
Let it go, babe. I got it.
Cord's right here.
Okay.
Oh, dog.
Anyway.
So yeah, he's just real cool about it. Hey, what's up, guys? And Jay and Seth Rogen are like, Channing Tatum. He's like, yeah. Danny's like, yeah. Channing Tatum is my bitch. So
360 on Hayward 21 Jump Street. I still haven't seen that either.
I gotta put that on the list.
That's a fun one. That is a fun one. Him and Jonah Hill work surprisingly well together.
Yeah, and I've seen certain scenes.
Yeah, no, we haven't seen so strange.
I've seen certain scenes that are hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely want to give that movie a shot at some point. But yeah, no, Channing Tatum and The Lost City.
Yeah.
Oh, with Sandra
Bullock? Super
was,
good in The Lost City, yeah.
Haven't seen that one yet.
Chris Hemsworth. That was a lot of fun. So yeah, no, Channing Tatum showing up in this movie
was that also Brad? That was also Brad Pitt.
Yes.
I don't think Chris Hemsworth was in that one.
Oh, that was Brad Pitt, not Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
Okay, again, cases of mistaken identity with me.
Go.
I don't know why.
Good-looking blonde man.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
Number 2. I'll let you guys decide which one's number 2. Let the comment section rage. But no, Channing Tatum's appearance in this is fucking phenomenal.
And he actually gets
funny.
He gets a fair amount of screen time too, because he shows up. He shows up in 2 scenes, so good for him.
And then the ultimate cameo, which I still don't understand why, but I think that's the point.
Yeah.
Where the big reveal at the end happens, and it turns out the White Death had gotten everyone on the train because they had all wronged him in some way.
No. Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
And most of them, or all of them, were connected to his wife's death?
In some fashion, with the exception of his daughter.
Yes.
But everyone else he had brought on because they were all involved in some fashion in his wife's death. The twins were in charge of the Bolivia massacre, which were his men.
Yeah. Which he had to go sort out. Which
he had to go sort out.
Why he wasn't with his wife.
The Hornet?
The Hornet killed the surgeon that could have saved his life. Yes,
the Hornet killed, yep. And then his son, because he was a total fuck up.
Yeah.
And why he had to save his son? There's something to do with his son also, like his son was
what did the wolf have to do with everything again?
No, the wolf was sent to kill the Hornet.
Okay, yeah.
The wolf went to kill the Hornet.
Yeah.
And he ended up fighting Ladybug, Brad Pitt.
But why does he think that? Why does he fight Ladybug in the face first?
Because he spilled wine on him, so he thought he was the killer. All Wolf knew was that the killer's on the train. Okay. So he recognized Brad Pitt from the wedding and was like, "Oh, well, if you're here, what are the chances?"
Okay.
But anyway, everyone gets their tie-in to the White Death's wife's demise, which then leads us to Ladybug, Brad Pitt's character, where he's like, "You're the one who actually hit her car," and we find out that it was actually another operative who had called in sick
by the name of Carver.
You're a dick, Carver.
Who is a dick.
And that turns out to be the Ryan Reynolds, who gets a grand total of 3 seconds of screen time.
It's a beautiful shot after the crash. He just takes his helmet off. You see him. You get his name. There's an explosion. That's it.
I think it says Carver.
It says Carver. Yeah, it says Carver. Small print. He's a dick.
Yeah.
It's great. The cameos there, just for fuck's sake, I guess. Because Ryan Reynolds is almost in almost everything now.
Yeah, because why not?
Because why not? And honestly, I'm not mad with it.
Yeah, because Ryan Reynolds is likable. Him and Blake Lively are very real.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not your normal PR-driven rich people.
No.
So they're very easy to like. But yeah, no. So the cameos in this movie are fantastic. Hero from Heroes makes an appearance for the first time since Heroes.
So
I've never seen Heroes, so you're gonna have to.
So Hero is the ticket guy.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
The conductor.
Yeah.
So he is kind of the main character.
He's one of the main characters in a show about superheroes, kind of like
what the hell is going on with the mic?
or whatever.
Sorry guys, we are having. I don't know what it sounds like. Oh no, I'm pretty sure it sounds like that too.
Bring it down. Bring it up. Do me a favor. Where it says mic, there's 3 knobs there. One of them says mic.
Yes.
Just turn it down a little bit.
To the left or to the
right? To the left.
Okay.
And let's see if that helps at all, because some of it maybe we're yelling, so it's kind of
maybe. It could also be that I'm moving, but I'm doing my best.
Then the cord is like 12 feet long. There's no reason you should be like stuck underneath it.
So I really think it's the noise.
I'm not. To be honest, I'm not.
I think it's the noise. So
unless I'm hitting the table, but
where were we?
Hero from Heroes.
So he's kind of the main character. He kind of gets the whole group of heroes together.
I don't know to explain that. Let me just.
Okay, go ahead and explain.
So basically, Hero is one of the original characters from the cast of the show Heroes. It's kind of this play on the word because his name is Hiro, Hiro in Japanese. I don't know what that stands for.
Yes.
But so yeah, that actor is
Save the Cheerleader.
Save the Cheerleader, Save the World, or he's one. I don't think he's one who said that, but that's what.
Cheerleader is Hayden
Panettiere. Fucking love her.
And the Hulk, the She-Hulk's in it too, and she's
Ali
awesome.
Larder.
Ali Larder, yeah.
Yeah.
I love all of
Skyler was Zachary Quinto.
Oh my God, where has he been?
I don't know, but he's doing another.
I believe he's been
Heroes.
he's been doing voice acting.
He was also in Star Trek.
Oh yeah, he was.
American
He was Spock.
American Horror Story. I don't think he only did but the one season. He's done stuff. He's been in a few things. Those are the things that I can think of off the top of my head. But he hasn't really done anything like lately. Although he is supposed to be reprising his role in Heroes.
In the new Heroes, yeah.
In the new Heroes, yeah. So.
Which I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't either, because they just, after a while, that show, much like this one, I was actually going to make a point here, became kind of disjointed and is kind of all over the place and not really following any sort of like similar like narrative thread from the second season. The second season were beautiful, and then the third season they just lost all of their way. But I was going to say, like, my take on the movie overall is that it's kind of disjointed if you really give any sort of thought into the plan that is put forth by any of the characters. Mm-hmm. The reality is, I don't fucking care.
It's an ADH fueled.
It's fun because I'm watching the characters do the thing that they're doing in front of me. Brad Pitt is just hilarious. Lemon and Tangerine are fun to watch. Yep. The Prince is actually pretty intimidating, and I actually enjoy watching her. I forget the name of the grandfather, but I love him in everything he does.
I don't believe he has a name.
The actor's name.
Oh, Hiroyuki Sanada?
Yes.
Oh, you're talking about the grandfather.
I just said grandfather, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was going White Death for some reason, but I love everything the White Death that actor does.
I don't remember what else he's done.
He's in a few things.
I could be wrong, but he may have a character.
This is one of those few rare movies. Most of the time, when a movie is like disjointed and like
the Elder, they refer to him as the Elder.
He is the Elder, yes.
Yep.
Sometimes the movie is just disjointed and it's sometimes hard to follow. It's hard to enjoy it as a result. But other times you just don't give a fuck. This is very easily a turn your mind off movie, because if you try to actually, and some of they're trying to be like. They're trying to be smart, and the show's like almost kind of heist movie, and all these different twists and turns. It's kind of complicated, but becomes convoluted. I don't care. This is just one of those rare times where I actually don't fucking care because everything else about it is so much fun.
I agree wholeheartedly. This is definitely one of those movies where I want to watch some crazy random shit happen.
Yeah.
And there's good dialogue between the characters.
Yes.
The characters feel in a way, I don't know if it's the actors on screen or the characters, but if everyone looks like they're having fun in some way, even when they're kicking the shit out of each other.
The action is done very well.
Great
choreography.
Yeah, the cinematography.
Cinematography is actually really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not. It's better than it should be.
The use of lighting because of the different cars, because so it's I believe it's a 10-car bullet train.
So it's 16.
16.
It's 10 for economy and 6 for first class.
So the 10 economy cars all basically have white lighting, but because they're different trains, they all have like a different color marking on like either the side or the somebody help me out because I'm losing words. English is hard. Or the plaque on the train, or the plaque on the door. But then once you get into the first class trains, they are all differently colored. Well, some of them are differently colored for the most part, especially the Momoka.
That's right. My main problem with the Birds of Prey movie, fun movie if you can get past it, but all the jumping around, that's fair.
No, absolutely strange. Yes, that's why I was okay with that movie.
That's probably why. There are some movies.
The story was still trash, but goddamn was it fun.
Yeah, if the jumping around makes me not give a fuck.
Yeah, no, Harley Quinn or Margot Robbie was, and I refer to her as Harley Quinn in love because that is my Harley Quinn. Even though every movie she's been a part of has been almost trash.
What? Wait, what?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Who were you talking about?
Whoa, back up.
Back the fuck up.
Whoa. Hold on.
Okay, he did say almost.
Let me rephrase.
Some.
Every movie that Harley Quinn has been a part of has been almost trash.
That's better.
Not Margot Robbie.
Okay, right. So we're gonna have some serious problems here.
No, Barbie was amazing. Fucking
I said
Wolf of Wall
River.
Street was amazing. Fucking Focus, I love.
Her, like, I was gonna say like if. I Tanya.
I was just about to say
I Tanya. She was fantastic in. Yes. No, almost every Margot Robbie movie is fantastic.
Nobody.
Her Harley Quinn movies have been trash.
But she's always the best thing in them.
Yes.
Yes,
yes.
The Suicide.
I am not coming after Margot Robbie down.
And if I had to, the Suicide Squad. There it is. Yep. Thank you, Strange. Suicide Squad directed by James Gunn is actually good.
I have to. You can put it on your list because we haven't seen it yet.
I was gonna say though, real quick, that oh god, I had something that I forgot I was gonna say now. Fuck, damn it. All right, never mind.
Moving on.
Let's do it, Margot Robbie. Oh, I was gonna say, so this is the fact that before I was saying Shun the Non-Believer, now it's Stone the Non-Believer.
I love Margot Robbie.
Okay, yes.
All right.
Margot, if you're watching this, we would love a visit. I said we.
That's asking for too much. Just wait.
A phone call?
I take a wave.
A wave?
A cameo.
A glance in our general direction.
Maybe even acknowledgement of our existence.
There
sure.
you go.
Speaking of cameos, oh my god, Margot Robbie has one of the greatest cameos of all time
in The Big Short. Big Short. Yeah.
Which, have you ever seen that?
I feel like it's a lot of hyperbole, but okay.
So, well, it's my favorite cameo of all time.
Okay.
And it's so The Big Short is a movie about
2008
economic collapse.
Yes, never mind. I have seen it.
Yes. And he's talking about something super convoluted and super hard to understand. He's like,
here's Margot Robbie.
You really don't understand this. Here's Margot Robbie in a bubble bath.
Yes.
Explain this to you.
Yes.
Like, oh, that's perfect.
And it made sense.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Anyway, back to this movie. So,
Spike.
No, the action choreography is amazing. Spike is trying to ruin the stream.
He's supposed to say hi to
Good
you.
boy.
He is the goodest boy, and he's trying to give me love right now.
He is. He doesn't have to give you love.
Except
everyone loves.
I love dogs. I just can't have them all up on me either because I have after a while allergies do come up. But No, yeah, he is the goodest boy.
Yes, I know.
No, yeah.
So the choreography was fantastic.
Yes. Again, and now we're going back to the lighting. I think it was the Momokan. The character train. It was just dark. And it was a kiddie themed train because it was the number one anime in Japan, which I have issues with, but I say less. And it was the darkest lit train in the movie, which made for some pretty interesting scenes at some point. But again, no, the use of lighting very well. The movie, the entire movie is at night for the most part.
Yes.
Which like again, great use of lighting for the external shots of the train. When we get to the platforms, and then you have the lighting from the building itself, from the platforms against the night sky. Just it's great.
So I'm actually gonna jump on here and say I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention. I'm actually like there's certain things like when it comes to movies that I usually like focus in on in terms of like kind of critique or understanding or analyzing. And colors are not usually something that I usually do. But now that you brought it up, I'm trying to think. And I'm not sure like how much of I'm sure they tried with it. I don't know if they were actually like successful at accomplishing a certain theme or element with all the cars and certain characters. But it did seem like they tried. So for example, you have the Wolf's car and his colors in there, like it's not just the lighting, but it's also the upholstery. The aesthetic is a lot more like you
Western.
like.
Well, it was
Western.
Well,
warm.
it was the bar car.
Well, but the point is that the colors utilized for it are more oranges,
Yes.
they're more warm colors,
Yeah.
and that might have been more an inclination towards the fact that he's coming from Mexico, like the more like the western desert sort of thing. Then you have like the Prince, and her car is, from what I remember, it's like pink, isn't it? It was like pink upholstered.
No, it's more of a first class, business class.
But I think there was some red. I think there was some reddish. Because she was in pink.
Maybe that's one of the things that she was in pink.
She was in pink,
like
but there was some red. I think there was some red.
Which like also
reddish, red, orangish,
danger.
That sort of thing. Like she's not what she seems, sort of thing. Like it's something you should be cautious of.
Yeah.
When the grandfather, and I can't speak to the you can always talk about how like the kitty car is darker, like she's the darkest person on there or whatever, something like that because of the fact that you use this horrible way of killing people.
It was very like purple. The kitty car.
It was like bluish, I thought.
Purple is kind of blue. Purple, blue. Point is, it was a dark tone. It was dark tone with a blue violet shading.
Right.
Yeah.
So the only other cars that I feel like that utilized white light, which was interesting, that I remember because I didn't finish watching it unfortunately with you guys, and I haven't seen it since not since it came out, since we watched it the first time last year. Was the train where Lemon and Tangerine are hanging out for the most part, where the son's body is.
That's one of the economy class cars.
But then there's also later on, while most of the movie is taking place at night, there is one car where it is brightly lit during the day. And it's during that car and that scene that we start to hear from the grandfather, and it is more or less like, I think it's kind of trying to create not neutrality, but like a sense of like more serenity and peace, because in the background you have the countryside like flying by, as he's talking about his family and his history. And so so actually, if I may just interject real quick, because again we watched it last night, that was actually one of the economy class cars, and I believe that's the economy class car where we encounter Lemon, Tangerine, and I think it's a different one.
Maybe not, but I do.
So I feel like it was closer to the front.
I can't say for sure, but I know as the Prince and Ladybug were trying to escape the car after shooting shooting Tangerine, or after Tangerine dies, they go to get off, and the Prince, her bag gets quote unquote stuck, and Ladybug's trying to get off, so they have no choice but to stay on. And it's at that point that the elder gets on the train, and it may have been one of the economy ones. It may have been just a first class one that had really bright lighting. They looked very similar. So it was kind of hard to tell. But no, but going back to your point, Arian, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's basically all I was gonna say.
No, I
So with that, we've been going on the general discussion part of this for about an hour. So let's move on to another section.
okay.
Let's all do the top 3. So everyone, like, at the end of a review, you have your good, you have your bad, and you have your ugly.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have your points underneath them.
Yeah.
So in 5 points or less, let's do our good.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Just sustained. So Juice, go ahead.
I think 3 points would be better.
I may have 1 or 2 just because
Well,
like
that's why I said 5 or less.
yeah.
I was saying let's keep it at 3 so we can keep it like flowing.
That's fine.
Okay,
That's what I
so
was
so the
thinking anyway.
good.
I thought you would need more. So
Okay, so just 3 general points. Good for the movie overall.
Yes, and that's the thing. If you don't have anything, we're not going to be some of those reviewers that try to force something into a category. If it doesn't have it, doesn't have it.
Yeah.
So
Okay, so good for me. I think the writing for me hits really well, and again, this is coming from someone who isn't really good with like just kind of breaking down the writing, but I think the writing is really good, and the directing, and the cast.
Okay.
For me, that's where I'm gonna kind of leave it at.
Perfect.
Writing, directing, cast.
Mine is similar. I'm going to specifically talk about the dialogue, just because, like, while I like the dialogue part of the writing, I'm not certain still about, like, the actual structure of the script.
Mm-hmm.
And while I did enjoy the directing, I didn't necessarily enjoy some of the choices they made in regards to editing and things of that nature.
We're going to go over that bad stuff later.
Okay, yeah, so I can't
So
say...
you're good.
Fine. Dialogue, cast, and... that's really it. Like, dialogue again, basically. Like, dialogue, the cast, and the cast doing the dialogue. Like, a lot of that, just, I don't know how to, like, the energy, maybe.
The delivery.
Like, that, yeah, I guess it's where, like, they all wrap it together.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a fun fucking movie, and I'll go into my issues with it as to why I can't go any further than that. But yeah, those 2 things I thought were enough to carry everything else.
Okay, so my good, the acting, phenomenal. The pace and the choreography.
Oh yeah, okay. I guess choreography for mine too.
So bad.
I'm actually gonna pass on this because for me, I don't really have anything that I'm focusing on per se. I really don't have much. I can't really think of anything bad to say. I mean, it's not a perfect film.
Well, Strange enjoys this type of stream, so I think
Yay.
I think for me, actually, I think it might be the pacing a little bit.
Okay.
Because I will for it being a little over 2 hours in the middle, it kind of dragged for me.
Okay.
And I think it's definitely after the wolf appears. It kind of starts to slow down for me a little bit before we get to Lemon and Tangerine's deaths, and they're both. I think it drags just a bit. I think they could have shaved off a few minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have 3, but I'll give what I have. I think I already mentioned a little bit about the editing. I mentioned about the structure of the story, and some of and this might be more under ugly than anything else, but it's going to be some of the implausibility of especially that ends the end.
Yeah.
The end does feel not necessarily rushed.
Cartoony.
Very much so. And, like, it's not like it necessarily ruins the film, because the movie is kind of built towards this kind of action towards the end anyway, but it feels less like luck and fate, the way that they kind of describe it as being like the central arc and theme of the movie, and more about convenience, basically.
I can see that.
So,
one thing I'd like to say about the end, and I'm guessing you're talking about the way the end, the way the movie ends.
It feels like a train wreck,
which it does, but I think the style is very.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I think the style. I think it takes inspiration from anime in a way.
Yeah.
Because this movie is set in Japan, and I don't know. I mean, whether it's intentional or not, and whether or not it's in the book. I feel like this whole movie does take a lot of elements from Japanese pop culture. Although be it in an American movie, the setting kind of helps me to just kind of separate my or suspend my belief for a bit, because I know this is fiction, and treat it as if it is something of an anime.
The problem with doing it that way, if I may jump in to the rebut, is that when you do anime as a live action, you are constrained by the same problems you have with doing anything live action versus a cartoon.
Yeah.
The cartoon, you get away with a lot of shit that you shouldn't be able to get away with live action unless you set up those stakes very early on throughout the film. This movie doesn't. There are people who die as a result of some of the choices they make.
That's true.
And that is not how you're going to end the film, with people not succumbing
without
to those same
without a
things.
resolution to the consequences.
Exactly.
That's fair.
That's my issue.
That's fair.
And that's also where I'm going to go with the bad, is specifically the train wreck.
Okay.
The accident at the end, it's CGI filled.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is super convenient. And it almost takes me out of the movie.
Yeah.
Both times I've watched it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't quite. It's still a good movie, y'all. But it almost took me out of the movie. But then after that, they wrap it up in a nice little bow, and I'm fine.
I still don't really care for how that one. I forget who it was who gets ran down by the car.
Is the prince.
Okay, that's what it was. Yeah.
I don't hate that, but that's because they built up, for me, they built Lemon and Tangerine into such sympathetic characters that I'm cheering at that point.
Well, it feels like that all of it, from like basically including the train wreck or whatever. Not necessarily the fight up until the train wreck, right? Because that still is.
I'm specifically talking about when the train starts to crash to when the train stops crashing.
Yeah.
So yeah, mine is from when the train starts to crash to the end of the film.
Okay. No, I get it. I get what you're saying. All right. So now the ugly.
I don't think I have an ugly.
I have one thing.
Okay.
What's that? My ugly probably is specifically the train crash.
Okay. My ugly is Hornet.
Okay.
The Hornet.
Okay, go ahead.
I am a fan of escalation in these types of movies.
Yes.
It's one of the reasons I absolutely adore The Raid. The Raid starts with a small fight. They're all very good, epic fights.
Because American Imitation 80 snuff properties outside of dub anime are rarely, I'm assuming rarely good.
Yeah, rarely
this
good.
is super good.
No, this is this is a fun watch.
Yeah.
If you have never actually watched or read the original content, then you probably will enjoy it. If you have, just stay away.
Yeah. So I'm a fan of escalation movies. I was talking about The Raid. Every fight in The Raid seems bigger than the last.
Okay.
In one way or another, emotionally, actually.
Well, that's
physically.
usually how you would build a movie in the first place.
Right.
Yes.
Should.
And the Hornet felt like a giant step back.
Wow,
I can see
So,
that.
like, in the movie, they're building, and then the Hornet comes, and the Hornet is the one who killed the Wolf's family.
She killed the son.
She killed the son. She is built as the most dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The fight is 45 seconds long.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's super short. It's super to the point, and it's just done. And it's like, I get that the Prince is probably the better villain of this movie,
Which she is.
but a lot of arrows point to the Hornet should be like the main sub boss.
Well, then I'd probably actually be my ugly is the amount of it's convoluted. Like they pack too much stuff in.
And it hurt the Hornet's moment because she's on screen. Granted, she's in the costume, but she herself, the actress, is on screen
Zazie
for
Beetz.
not a very long time.
Yeah.
No.
And she's a fantastic actress. And I wish I had more. So basically, everything with the Hornet left me wanting at a point in the movie where I should not be left wanting.
If anything, the snake
Yeah.
was done better than the Hornet.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the snake was a crucial element to
To
the
the
Hornet.
Hornet. Yeah.
To her character.
So,
And she's wasted, but the snake is set up from the beginning.
yeah.
From the first scene of the movie, the snake is set up on TV in this news report, which we then cut back to again when I think when the Hornet shows up
Yeah.
If not, when the snake actually pops out of its cage.
Someone's watching TV later on, and I forget who's watching. On TV. They're watching on the train. I mean.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't remember why.
Well,
but yeah.
the report comes up again.
Yeah.
And then the snake actually ends up or sticks around longer than the hornet does. So,
Yeah.
So I would agree with you on that aspect now that you've broken it down.
Yeah. So that's my only major issue with the movie. Did you all have ugly?
That
Really?
was
I would go with
my
your
ugly is a train wreck
I would
and
go
how complicated everything unnecessarily complicated.
I would go with
became.
your ugly.
Okay. So with all that being said, I think it's time to start wrapping.
Yeah,
I
we
think
are.
an hour's
Yeah,
about
we're actually at 48 minutes.
Really, that's it?
Really?
Could
I was
be,
at 50
no,
when I was just looking.
I could be wrong.
No, yeah, we're just over. Yeah, hour 5 minutes. About.
Okay, never mind.
But anyway, we'll end this the same way, and some of these may be longer depending on the movie.
Yeah,
but
this
was a pretty fun, and we all agree, which is going to be part of it too.
Yeah.
Once we get into movies where we have different opinions,
which will probably mostly be Matt and Ariane because some of these I will be watching for the first time, so I will.
You also have an opinion about them though.
I will, but again, I'll be honest. You guys, this discussion for the most part has mostly been you two, and I interject when I can.
Yeah.
And I'm fine.
Fair.
And I'm fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
And because again, it's kind of just
you're kind of a moderator.
Well, no, I feel like you've gotten a lot of like good feedback.
No,
in this,
I
discussion.
agree.
I think it's been pretty equal,
once we get into other films where there are contrasting opinions, especially between you two, it'll be mostly between.
Oh, we'll get in the fucking weeds too.
At this point, at that point, I will have to put my referee shirt on and start getting in between you two. But no.
But no, kudos to you actually bringing up the colors of the different colors.
See, and that's one of those things that I've learned in the last couple of years of watching film is that color plays a huge role in setting the tone of a scene.
Well, and here's my thing: isn't there 6 killers in this movie?
I have no idea.
The twins, the wolf.
Are you only counting the twins as individually or one or two?
No, the twins are one.
The twins are one unit.
Okay.
So the twins, the wolf, the
hornet,
the prince, Ladybug. It's 5.
There's one more.
Well, Ladybug isn't technically a killer.
She is.
No.
Ladybug is an operative who's on the train.
Yeah, but
they're not killer. He's not a killer.
There's 6 main people.
Okay,
on the train.
but just on the train then, not including Carver. Oh, what the
Yuichi, the son.
The son.
He's number 6.
Yeah. And I think you can count his father, honestly.
Well,
that would kind of be one unit, but that's why I think his father actually shows up on the economy car. So now I'm thinking there's 6 first-class cars. Is each one themed?
It's 10.
I'm sure
it's 10 first-class cars.
Oh, I thought
it's 6 first-class cars, 10 economy.
16, yes.
10 economy. So the economy is kind of the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And then 6 for each themed villain in some way.
It's possible.
Because it really hits me with the wolf.
The first 3 aliens.
Strange says,
and then
might I suggest doing a series of movies, like for instance the first 3 aliens, you watch the first Disgust, then the second, then the third, and then do a stream discussing the franchise up to that point. No, that will definitely come. Absolutely.
Ew.
Not necessarily aliens, but probably aliens will be one of them.
It'll have to be Alien 3.
Yes, we have to do Alien 3 because it's a good one.
I've never seen Alien 3.
It's a good one. It's the last good one.
Add it to the wheel.
Except Covenant. I like
the
Covenant.
last good one.
Add it to the wheel.
We'll work on that.
Anyway.
So what I was gonna say is
the color.
I really caught it with the wolf when you brought that up, because the wolf, I always notice he has a very cowboy.
He's in white
persona.
He's in white.
He's
in
Spurs. White. Yeah, but very Hispanic.
Very Hispanic, cowboy-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And they're fighting in basically a saloon.
Yeah.
So it's a old saloon Western bar fight.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back and notice all the cars, the first class cars, and see if there's like a connection there. So if anything, that just added replayability to it. So kudos on that.
Excellent.
So now how I want to end these. First off, we do this every time we discuss a movie, out of 10. We're going to finish it with an out of 10.
Yeah.
So you go first, sweetheart.
Solidly at an 8.
Solidly at an 8. Okay. So 8 out of 10 for Ariane.
8 1/4.
8 1/4 for Juice. 7.5.
Really?
Yeah, I'm almost never below you.
No, I know. Wow.
But I am on this one. Because here's the thing. 7.5 for me is still super good.
Yeah.
Like, I'll still watch shit out of it. But the Hornet, the convolutedness, and the train wreck itself,
yeah.
bump it down enough for me.
That's fair.
Because the most important part of a movie to me is the ending.
Yeah.
So execution of the ending will weight my score more than anything. I have movies. Identity is a good one. Identity, I give like an 8.5. The movie, like the first 2 acts, kind of drag. They're well done, but they're not fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
But the ending is so awesome.
It's
that it shoots it up.
For those of you who have been with us, and the handful, and for new viewers, we are all involved in the wrestling business. Matt is currently a wrestler. Ariane is a wrestling announcer. I used to wrestle and am currently kind of an on and off
I used
referee.
to wrestle too.
Former wrestler and wrestling ring announcer. So we all understand storytelling from a wrestling aspect as well.
Yeah.
And the way you end a match kind of tells.
No one gives a fuck what you do at the start of the match.
Yeah, nobody.
Everyone
Yeah,
remembers
exactly.
the finish.
Everybody remembers the finish. Everybody remembers the finish. So with this movie, everybody. So again, with movies, if you don't land the finish, you don't land the whole movie. The movie as a whole. The whole movie goes down because this movie was a bit of a train wreck.
No, yeah, but I absolutely do like this movie and I do recommend it. So with that, I like your pun, by the way.
For some reason.
I'm going to try to be as punny as I can.
So with that, before we spin the wheel for next week, the last part of this I want to do is
it's how you leave it.
Watch it, rent it, or buy it. Or stream it, rent it, or buy it.
Stream it.
So if it's already free on your streaming service, is a streaming. Rent it. If it's available for rent, go ahead and rent it. And buy it is obviously you need to have this in your collection.
I would put this as rent it.
Rent it.
Rent and or stream.
And I would stream it.
Yeah. If
somewhere in there.
If you can stream it, stream it. If you can't, rent it.
If you've watched it before, I would definitely say stream it.
Yeah.
And if you've never watched it for the first time, I feel like it's worth the $4, whatever you have to charge at Amazon.
I would listen to that argument. Yeah, I would agree.
So.
If you can't stream it.
So if you can't stream it and you haven't seen it, rent it.
Yes.
Okay. So with that being said, we have decided that the next movie pick will go to Ariane.
God help us all.
We did a rock, paper, scissors, and she won.
Yep.
Next, once everybody gets their turn, we are probably going to do spin the bottle or something.
Oh, are you kidding?
There's the pick.
So with that being said, let's see what does fate have in store for us?
Drum roll, please.
I went way back.
Oh, fuck me.
And I'm super excited for the stream discussion that we're going to have on this.
What are we watching next week?
If it's Metropolis, I'm walking out.
Gone with the Wind.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Okay.
No.
Have you ever seen it?
I've never
I
seen
didn't think
it.
you had,
No.
so I put it on there.
Why would you put that on there?
Because it's going to be fun to discuss it. And there are issues with that film, but there are also fun things about that film.
You're going to have to get here early, Juice.
Yeah.
It's a 3-hour movie.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Isn't it 3.5 actually?
It's at least 3 hours. I don't remember how. I think with the intermission,
you're
it was like 3.5.
You're going to have to get here a little earlier so
right.
we can stream it that night.
Yeah.
Should we start putting like
6-ish.
limits on how long our movies are from this point forward?
No, but if you get too overblown
a
with
movie
this
I've
bullshit.
seen. Right on, Strange.
Well, look, if anything, I'll tell you right now, I did not put Zack Snyder's Justice League on my list.
I would
so
have watched
good.
it with you if you had. That is 4 hours of my life I've never given back and I will never give it up.
Veto on the wheel.
You say that.
There is one movie that has been vetoed on the wheel, and it's the only movie that I will allow to be vetoed on the wheel.
Fair. That's
Never Ending Story.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that's not.
Okay.
That's only because that's a personal trauma thing.
Exactly. So
You don't think Justice League is Zack Snyder's thing?
It's not a personal trauma.
Are you sure?
No, as much as DC is painful, it's not trauma.
Are you fucking sure?
No, I'm not, because the original Justice League, that fucking
The theatrical
Russian
release?
family. I hate that Russian
Strange.
family.
You have seen. Wait,
Gone with the Wind.
have you seen Gone with the Wind, or have you seen Zack Snyder's Justice League?
No,
or
he
both?
said that before we said Zack
Yeah, no,
Snyder,
it was
so we
Gone
talked
with the
Gone with the Wind.
Okay, cool.
So it's, yay, Strange will be able to take part.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to follow along, you have 1 week to watch Gone with the Wind. Or, obviously, if you're watching this later on and we've already done Gone with the Wind stream, you can feel free to watch the movie before you watch stream, as again, these are spoiler-filled streams. But this was fun.
It was.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
Gone with the Wind right now is available on HBO Max, so if you have HBO, it's free. If you do not, I'm not sure.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. We need to list where they're streamable.
Where
So
they're
yes.
where they're available.
And also, Bullet Train is on Netflix. I think we said that already.
Yeah, Bullet Train
for
is
another
on-
month. So June 2nd is the last
June
day.
2nd is the last day for Bullet Train.
2024.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, this was definitely enjoyable. I'm glad that you guys took this into consideration. This is, it's good to be able to have discussion like this once in a while, especially over stuff that we all enjoy, and in this case being film. So for those of you that don't know, just a quick little backstory, my interest in film. A few years ago, these two introduced me to something called the Movie Trivia Schmodown.
Ooh.
I didn't understand. I'm like, okay, it's probably just a bunch of fat guys doing movie trivia. And lo and behold, it was one fat guy doing movie trivia, but that one fat guy is one of the most brilliant film critics I have ever heard to this day in William the Beast Bibbiani. But it was through that program that I invested the time to become a fan of film. For the most part, like there's still talks of other movies. Shout out to the Inner Geekdom division, which is my favorite division, by the way. But it was through that program that I really got an appreciation for movies, what goes into making movies, because I really like movie trivia. I love going to movie trivia, especially if it's Marvel movie trivia. Don't try to come at me with the smoke on MCU trivia, because you will be destroyed. You will be snapped out of existence.
I'm so happy that this is where we are at, all three of us. Because when I met both of you, you were so sheltered, and you were picky, and you were sheltered.
That's fair.
When I met you, baby, you had not seen Footloose.
That's different.
It's Footloose.
There are a shit ton of movies that you've never
Footloose
seen.
still the greatest movie ever made?
No, excuse me.
Strange. I have been to the Palms and I have been to the Boulevard. They have been to the Palms. I have taken them to the Palms. Oh, God.
Is that Batman vs Superman?
That was Batman vs Superman.
That's still a really good experience.
It is still
dinner and all that.
Yeah, not a great movie.
No.
Well, the Ultimate Edition is better, but no. They have experienced the Hollywood Palms. It is a great experience. It's a bit of a drive. The Hollywood Boulevard is just as good. It's a little bit closer. Not as spectacular of an experience, but I like to go out there once in a while when I'm willing to make the drive out to Woodridge, Illinois. But no, yeah. Again, shout out to these two. I am grateful to these two for expanding my movie knowledge and range. And if anybody ever gets a chance, I highly recommend check out the Movie Trivia Schmodown. They made it through 9 seasons of trivia.
Go see a good movie there instead.
I have. They haven't yet.
Maybe we should make Deadpool a thing.
Maybe
to go to the Palms.
Maybe the Boulevard. The Palms is Naperville. That's a drive.
Oh, well, whatever he was.
Yeah, we'll probably do the Boulevard.
Me.
We'll do the Boulevard instead. Yeah. It'll be better. Anyway, no. If you guys haven't, check out the Movie Trivia Schmodown. It is movie trivia mixed with professional wrestling.
And it's fantastic.
It is the greatest thing I had ever experienced from 2015 to No, actually, I'm wrong. It was 2016 because I got into season 4.
That's when we started watching.
Yeah, so from 2016 to 2022, it was like the newest love of my life, and I was heartbroken to see it go. But it is available on YouTube. Look up the Movie Trivia Schmodown archive page. All 9 seasons of the show are there. If you do happen to decide to watch seasons 1 and 2, it is a little rough, but that's because it was the experimental phase where Christian Harloff and Mark Ellis were basically doing movie trivia on their Schmoes Knows show at the time, and it wouldn't be until season 3 when they got their own studio and they actually did the spectacle with entrances and characters, and they were using the WWE. Well, they were at least using the big gold belt as the Movie Trivia Schmodown Singles Championship.
Yep.
God, I love that.
Shout out to Merle. Is that his name?
Yes. Shout out to Dangerous Dan Merle.
Good God, that man.
Shout out to the Outlaw John Roca, who also has his own YouTube channel. Check out the Outlaw Nation on YouTube. Follow him on on any of his projects that he does. Check out Christian Harloff on his channel, the Christian Harloff channel, where he does The Next Big Thing. Monday through Friday, they talk about different topics, including movies, entertainment, UFO sightings, professional wrestling. It's a good time if you're into watching him and other people in the entertainment world that he's close with talk about the shenanigans that are going on in entertainment and in possible real life. It's a good time. I'm grateful for what they have given me or given the fans, and I continue to support them in modicums because I can't really watch a talk show every day of the week. So
you weren't sheltered. You hadn't seen Rocky when we met. Best Picture winner.
I'm sorry, excuse me. The fact that I hadn't seen like these 2 specific 80s movies, that I had seen a shit ton of other movies that I'd shown you, that matters not.
Well, there's a shit ton of movies that I've shown you.
Yeah, so I'm not sheltered any more than you are. Is the point? We had our own personal.
This discussion is like Ted and oh my God, why am I blanking?
Mark Wahlberg.
Thank you, Ted and Mark Wahlberg talking to Amanda Seyfried about who is Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh my God, we have a dynamic like Ted and Mark Wahlberg.
No, you guys have a dynamic. You guys have a dynamic of Ted and Mark Wahlberg and Amanda Seyfried.
Ah.
Okay.
She is Amanda Seyfried. We are Ted and Mark Wahlberg. I'm probably Mark Wahlberg. You're probably Ted.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how I feel about that either.
So, with that
how
being
the fuck
said,
does anyone not know who Samuel L. Jackson is?
You want to talk about shelters?
I'm sick and motherfucking tired of these motherfucking snakes of this motherfucker.
Just because you say a name or sing a song doesn't mean I'm gonna know what that is.
You're fucking wrong.
So,
Strange says if y'all make Deadpool 3 a thing, I'm down. It's after my.
Oh, it will be. It is a thing. Oh, it is. No, it is a thing. We.
I don't know if we can make it after your wedding though.
Like what? Like when after your wedding?
I believe his wedding is the day of the release. So it means not seeing Deadpool on.
We will figure this out at a later point. We usually don't go the weekend of the release anyway.
Yes, we do.
Not anymore. Not really.
Not in a while, but we had. But
Marvel,
let's a whole 2 months from now. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out at a later point in time. But so again, with that being said, thank you to everyone. Thank you to those of you who have joined us. The video will be up after this because they stay on there. If you have any movies that you would like to probably recommend, let us know in the comment section, and we may add them to the list at some point. Please join along with the discussion as well. We will cut into your discussion at certain points in time. No, we love to talk about movies. Yep. I am learning to love to talk about movies.
Ooh, I gotta add Saw X to my list.
Do you have to? Jesus.
So, for No Collar Entertainment.
Planet of the Apes series, I disagree.
Ooh, Strange was Planet of the Apes.
We gotta talk.
I actually enjoy the Planet of the Apes
We
franchise.
really gotta
Which
talk.
one?
The new ones.
Okay.
The James Franco and On.
How do you feel about the
Mark Wahlberg?
the Tim Burton one? Yeah.
Trash.
Okay.
Garbage.
Okay.
Really bad.
I've never seen
Hi,
it.
Kelly.
Really bad.
I've never seen
Avoid
it.
it like the plague.
But yeah, no, and that's the thing. We'll do bad movies.
Yeah.
We'll do good movies. Me and Ari sat here for 2 hours and watched Catwoman one day.
Oh,
And never
Halle
again.
Berry's Catwoman.
Oh, fuck.
And never, ever, ever fucking again.
Oh no, it's terrible. But
It may get on. The
it
list.
was still a great memory.
I better not be.
It was still a great memory, and I really enjoyed the time I spent with Ariane doing that.
Oh, of course.
Because we were annihilating that movie the entire time. And it was a blast.
No, the
Of
most
course.
fun I ever had annihilating a movie was fucking King Kong.
Oh my god, that was so
Peter
bad.
Jackson
the
King
only,
Kong?
That was the only
Yeah.
thing worth watching that 3 hours for was just to roast the fuck out of it.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. But anyway, so we'll be all over the map with this. Sometimes they'll be good, sometimes they'll be bad. Sometimes we'll agree, sometimes we won't. Either way, it is the wheel, and fate will decide. Funny how fate is deciding all of our movies, and we started with a movie whose
About
theme
fate?
is fate.
You're right.
For No Cover Entertainment, this is Matt.
There he
This
is.
is Juice.
We're out!
Bye.
Peace.